I don't know who needs to hear this, but the social issues that you care about so much, you can't fix them under capitalism. Not truly. And if you really care, you need to get on board with that fact. You can't fix the environment as long as small men are allowed to dig it up and sell it back to you. You can't get rid of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, pick your flavor of bigotry, so long as it remains a useful distraction for the people in power to pit the lower classes against each other instead of confronting the actual source of their problems, which is, of course, the people in power. You can't house the homeless and feed the hungry as long as the rich need to show you an example of what will happen to you if you don't fall in line. You can't end war and, we'll say, the G word in a system where money is the most important thing, because if it's the most important thing, that means it's in the system more important than human lives. You can't unshackle an entire generation from predatory student debt so long as there is profit to be made and the resulting intelligent minds that come from it need to be made not a threat. I could go on and on. It frustrates me so endlessly lately when I hear things like we're living in unprecedented times. No, the fuck we're not. This literally happens every time with capitalism. That's why it's called late-stage capitalism, is because it goes in stages, in cycles that are completely fucking predictable because they happen every time without fail. There seems to be this myth that exists, particularly in more moderate left communities, right? Of like, well, if capitalism is moderated, it's the best system. You know, moderate capitalism is okay. No, it's not. Because A, how do you moderate it? You can't. Because eventually someone is going to be corrupt enough to take a bribe. And as soon as that happens, it starts this snowball effect where eventually more and more money can influence the law. And again, I want to be so clear. There is not any way to prevent that. None. Zero. If you manage to do it, you will be the first in human history. I also want to clarify that late-stage capitalism does not always result in the collapse of said society. Right, because like in America, we've cycled through late-stage capitalism multiple times. Think the robber barons. Hell, to some extent, think the civil rights movements of the 60s. And now, again, we're here again. Sometimes what happens at the end of a cycle of late-stage capitalism is rather than society collapsing, small improvements are made, right? And things are regulated more. And we go back simply to an earlier stage of capitalism. Which changes nothing, because again, there will always be someone corrupt enough to take a bribe, and that starts a snowball effect of more and more money being allowed to control the law and other systems. Oh, but capitalism gave you everything you love. No, the fuck it didn't. Capitalism gave me